Hey there. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good day. Delighted to be here. Been getting a lot of things done in the yard. Um, it's like the fall cleanup instead of spring cleanup as I'm waiting for Kyle Hollingsworth to join me. And yeah, I've found myself wanting to spend a lot of time with my mom right now and really thinking a lot about my dad. A lot of it has to do with the Supreme Court Justice thing that's going on. And that I'm actually having the same types of behaviors that I was when 9/11 happened. Hey there, Kyle. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm actually in my
Oh,
car and just left an appointment, so I'm just going to put my glasses on so I can see you. Oh, there we are.
awesome.
Hi.
And those
I
are those
just
fun
pulled
glasses
over.
that look purple and all of that.
Yeah. I just left an appointment, so I'm pulled over on the side of the road to talk to you.
Oh, so smart, so wise.
How
Yeah,
are you?
I I've been going through so much transformation, and I know you have been too. I mean, you've had some rough spots, and I'm open to whatever you're willing to share with us on
Yeah,
that, and how you've been able to love yourself through that. I'm finding that actually the confirmation hearings and all of the stuff that's coming out through that, the hashtag didn't report it, I didn't report, and all of those other hashtags are. It's actually taking me back to 9/11. I'm like in the same type of needing to create, needing to clean and clear. So I've been doing a whole bunch of yard work with my mom, actually getting her outside and doing that type of stuff.
yeah,
And so I'm just surprised that, because I'm talking to women that are, much older than me that have had experiences that they they remembered, but they hadn't thought about in years until these hearings came about.
yeah. Of course. I mean, I was just in a session with someone talking about this and saying that it's it's incredibly triggering for many of us, and
Yeah.
and that I had oh, this is so great. So I had a conversation with my son yesterday, who's I'm helping navigate some difficult life experiences, and uh, we were talking about the confirmation hearing and talking about this, and I said he was trying to kind of get clear about the magnitude of it, and I said, let me tell you something. How many women do you think that your mom knows? And he goes, oh, over 1,000. And I said, sure, yeah. I said, how many of those do you think have been sexually assaulted in one way or another? And he goes, I don't know, a lot. And I said, all of them.
Yeah.
Unless someone's not telling me, because I literally, at this point, I'm not able to come up with a single female that I know in my life who has not, to some degree, whether small or great, been assaulted. And I think that, one of the ways we can love ourselves as women right now is to acknowledge that and to speak out about it and to stop being in hiding. There's a lot of wind. Can you hear the wind? A lot of wind.
No, it's
Oh.
fine. I did want to say hi to Giacomo and to Robert who have just joined us,
Hi.
and really
Hi.
appreciate, having men support us here as well because
Thank you.
um yeah, absolutely. And yeah,
Yeah.
please continue.
So,
I'm gonna cry, and that's okay.
yeah, it's okay. I've been crying for 2 days. I don't think I had a dry eye for the entire day yesterday. It was incredibly difficult for me. And I'm also very clear that the way I'm going to love myself is I'm going to I'm going to join every woman. I'm going to support every woman, and I'm going to be a voice in the collective voice that says this has got to stop. It's been too long. It's been too much. We matter, damn it. And
Yeah.
I myself, I've alluded to it. I'm writing about it in my book. I will say here live, I'm a survivor of sexual assault. It started when I was a child. Started when I was 9 years old, and it's been many occurrences throughout my life, including being raped. I don't talk about it a lot, and I didn't report it, and I knew better than to report it because the one time I shared about what happened when I was a kid, I was told, "Oh yeah, that happens to all the women in our family." Well, I was 9, and not a woman. And it shouldn't happen to any woman or any child. And the only way we're going to change the narrative, the only way we're going to change the culture is to join together and to keep speaking and to keep sharing and to keep talking. That's the way we
Absolutely.
love ourselves as women. That's how we love ourselves as women, is by remembering that our voices matter and truth is truth. It doesn't matter what happens in this thing with Kavanaugh. I know truth. You know
Yeah.
truth. We, all the
Yes.
women out here who've experienced any level of this, we know truth, and there's nothing to be gained from putting ourselves out here and opening ourselves up in this kind of way. It's vulnerable and it's terrifying,
It's
and
raw. It's
it has
so
to
raw.
happen. It has to happen in order for change to occur, because I don't think most men really got, or even still get, the magnitude of this, how deeply
Yeah.
it runs, how every woman they know, including their mother, including their sister, including their cousins, including their friends at high school, have been
Including
affected.
their daughters.
Yes. And the pain that we carry, the pain that we carry in our bodies, in our wombs, in our hearts, in our soul, it's real. It's real. And acknowledging that is the only loving thing to do. It's the only loving
And
thing to do, is to acknowledge that.
absolutely acknowledging that. And I also want to acknowledge the men that have been abused and sexually assaulted, because I think it may be even more difficult for them to speak up,
I
because
agree with
that
that.
just doesn't happen. And so
Right.
I want to acknowledge that there are men experiencing this as well. But yeah, right
Absolutely.
now is the time for women to actually speak out without a doubt, and to support men that have experienced this as well, and hold space for that. But definitely,
Absolutely.
rather than creating divisiveness of, masculine, feminine, which, is so predominant anyway, to bring us back together through this, rather than,
Yeah.
because I see how we could do that. It'd be real easy to say, it's only men abusing women, but women
Oh
abuse
no.
women,
Oh no.
women
Oh,
abuse men, men
absolutely.
abuse men, and
Yeah.
there is just, there's a lot of sick people, a lot of hurt people, and hurt people. And
That's right.
yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. And I'm so grateful to have you on board with, asking how you love yourself, because the more we get to that point of self-love, and being able to trust ourselves and love ourselves deeply, and feel that in our bodies, the more that we can spill over into all the people around us,
Yeah.
and heal those wounds, and heal those that are hurt, and heal ourselves, and in community be able to create more love in the world, because
Yeah.
it's not going to get healed by divisiveness or by hate or
Right.
by judging and blaming. It's going to get healed by love. So thank you so
Absolutely.
much for what you shared.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I also just want to acknowledge. I love what you said, and I acknowledge survivors of all assaults, all sexual assaults, all assaults. We've got to acknowledge across the board. And I also want to acknowledge the beautiful, wonderful, generous men who showed up yesterday during these hearings to post their support and to post
Yes,
their belief and to take a stand for, in this case, for women. And that to me was so valuable.
yes,
My husband included. Thank you, Toby. I love you. So many of my friends that I saw just really taking a powerful stand, and that is what we need to do for each other, men
absolutely.
for women, women for men, across the board. That's
Absolutely.
love.
And Nick, thank you so much for saying this is powerful. Thank you, Nick. We appreciate you. Yeah, it was so beautiful. I typically I wouldn't watch hearings like that, but I was just so compelled to be part of it, and
Yeah,
and to um, support my mother in it as well, because it was triggering for all of us,
yeah,
to see what was happening. And then, yeah, all of the support, and the courage that she had to come forward.
yeah,
She really, and in part, she didn't have a choice.
yeah.
The media didn't give her a choice. Overall, I think it's going to be a really, really good thing. But oh my gosh, I feel for her and her family, and I feel for Kavanaugh and his family as well. But he's never answered a question straight that I've heard him in any interviews. He's never ever given a straight answer.
Yeah.
He's a politician. His job may be as a judge, but the man is a politician, and I know it's a judgment. I'm judging the judge, but I
Yeah.
have yet to hear him say, give a straight answer to any question that I've heard asked of him.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. And the thing that I can say and acknowledge about Dr. Ford, and I too, I applaud her bravery because I know how scary it is. I really do. And the thing that I would say struck me the most is that she did answer every question that was asked her. And
She absolutely
she
did.
was unflinchingly clear and honest. And, every single person in this country is going to make up their mind. I can tell you absolutely to the core of my being, I believe her.
Yeah,
Um,
100% me as well.
I do. I believe her. Yeah.
Well,
And
and the things that I saw today, they talked with a trauma specialist that's written a book about it, and the how trauma, somebody that's been traumatized will remember and some won't, and
oh
how
yeah.
two people can be in the room and have totally different memories of the event. And one of the things that the reporter was saying, well, if this is like was commonplace, commonplace behavior, would it be possible to just like not even remember it because it just wasn't important enough to even remember? And it set up that the next thing that happened was they're talking about a woman that's come forward that saw um, Ford and Kavanaugh on a regular basis display behavior and spike punch and the behavior of sexual assault to women.
Yeah.
And hey, Aaron, really good to see you. So yeah, he doesn't remember. He it didn't happen in his mind because it was commonplace, and
Yeah.
that is can't have that in the Supreme Court. Just can't. It's not acceptable.
This is just part of the process that we are in, where everything has to be dragged out into the light. It has to be.
Yes.
And even when I was in high school, it was very commonplace for girls to be assaulted. I was assaulted. Most of my friends were assaulted.
Yep.
I share with my husband today that when I was in high school, there was an entire gang of male friends that I went to school with who raped a girl and
Yeah.
went to court, and it was a huge case, and they were not punished.
Exactly. And
They were
that has
not
got to
punished.
change.
And that message then informed the rest of us never talking again about anything that happened to us. And that is the part that has to change, is that we cannot be, I mean, people have threatened to kill Dr. Ford.
I know. I
And then in
know.
the
And
same breath, they're asking
she's so
why women
credible.
don't come forward. Why don't you come forward? And when you do, I'm going to kill you. It's
Yeah.
that's the part that has to change. The whole narrative has got to change. There has to be
Yep.
a safe space. There's got to be some respect for women and men, any survivors who come forward who have the guts to do that. It's so hard to do it. It's so hard to do it. So I'm
Yeah.
so grateful to her. And I'm so grateful to all the women that are taking a stand and speaking out. I'm grateful to myself. I'm grateful to you. And
Mhm.
I'm grateful to anyone who's willing to hold space to create a new dynamic around this, and to try to shift
Absolutely.
things. We're better than this.
We are. And I wanted to say hi to Aaron and Heather and Jody who've just joined us.
Hi guys.
Um, yeah, I mean we have some really powerful women here that, you know, they've had their experiences as well. And, for me, I took responsibility. I didn't report. And second one, I was told, don't you dare say anything,
Yeah.
and it's going to happen whether you want to or not. So enjoy it or not. You might as well enjoy it. Yeah. And through this, I've realized that there was another, that there is a minimum of 4 assaults and rapes were sexually without my consent, whether it was because of drugs or because I said no repeatedly and was told, hey, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I shared yesterday my first experience, which was a man. I was my first party. I'm taking speed for my first time. I'm drinking tons of beer, smoking a whole bunch of pot, and I'm the only girl left that isn't passed out, vomiting, or hooked up with somebody else. And the brother of the girl I came with and someone else flipped a coin over me. And
Wow.
he drugged me across a wooden floor to the bedroom, and I kept saying no. And when he entered me, I bit his shoulder so hard that I drew blood, and I remember the taste of that coppery blood taste in my mouth. And he's like, why'd you do that for? And I'm like, I am, I don't know, I was, I don't know, a virgin. And he's like, oh my God, I wish I would have known it would have gone so much different. It's like, he didn't say, oh, I wouldn't have touched you. No, it would have still fucking happened.
Yeah.
And I'd lied to my dad. So I took responsibility. I didn't,
Yeah.
my friends knew, but my parents didn't know for years.
Yeah.
And that was, my hymen was ripped. I mean, it's really badly still.
Yeah, I hear you.
So yeah, like you said, every single woman has experienced some form of sexual assault.
Yeah. And some of us many, and it's
Yeah, many.
it even exceeded. I mean, now what I'm witnessing with everyone coming forward is that it's even worse than even I thought, and I thought I was pretty damn cynical about it, having survived many episodes myself and having witnessed my friends.
Yeah,
It's even worse than I realized, and I mean, maybe we're reaching the tipping point. Maybe we're reaching the tipping point. Maybe every dark secret has to come out and be aired in order for the light to shine on it and for things to change. So I hope that's what's happening, and
I hope so too.
I think that all women and all survivors collectively are loving ourselves by allowing this conversation to have its time, to have its space, to finally be seen and heard and acknowledged for the thing that it is, which is incredibly important in the evolution of humans.
Absolutely. Yep.
We're
And
never
and
going to
yeah,
we
the
don't.
evolution of creating a loving planet so that we don't destroy ourselves.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks to Dr. Ford for her courage, and thank you for
Amen.
for yours and the book that you're writing and how you're going to share, your story and how you're supporting so many women and
Thank
how
you. And
you're
to you
raising
too.
a son that understands this.
Yeah, that's really important to me. That's an ongoing conversation with him. And I said to him yesterday when he asked me, "What can I do? What can I possibly do?" And I said, "You know what you can do? You can be the man who stands for women. You can be one of the men who stands for women, who shows up, who speaks up, who teaches your friends and your brothers how to respect women. And by doing
Yes,
that is a huge impact."
absolutely.
And I feel his
Yeah,
pain for what it must be like to be a young man growing up in a world with these fucked up mixed signals coming at him in every direction, and to be a young girl, a young woman growing up and looking at the messages that we're being shown about what her value is not. And that
yeah,
has to change. That has to change. And so let's keep talking to our kids and to young people, because they're the ones who are going to vote, and also the ones who are going to create a new way. God help them. I hope they do. Let's just all help them to see the mistakes that we've made and to turn things around. Because love is
absolutely. And
the
there's
only thing.
absolutely love is the only thing, and forgiveness. And if you're loving yourself, you're able to forgive yourself. And that's been one of my biggest challenges. It was easy for me to forgive the perpetrators.
Yeah.
I
Well,
because
it
I took the
wasn't your
blame on
fault.
myself.
It
Yeah,
wasn't your fault. And it's not my
I
fault.
I get that. It wasn't your fault. It's not my fault. Wendy, hi, nice to have you here.
Hi.
Um, yeah, yeah. So loving ourselves by having outrage
Yeah.
and
It's
and
appropriate.
teaching the young ones. Yeah, and the young ones are coming in. The children that are coming in now are so present and aware.
Yeah.
I think that that for them it's going to even be difficult for them to have this kind of mindset that they won't even understand it. It's like, how could people do that to other people because they're coming in so much more evolved.
It's
And
archaic.
it
It's an
is, oh
archaic
my
way.
God,
It's an
it's
archaic
so
way of
old
thinking.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow. Well,
love
we really
love is
go
what's going to
ahead.
save this planet. Well, I was just say love is what's going to save this planet. I still believe in love. I still believe that there are lots and lots of really wonderful, good people out there who do respect and love
Absolutely.
each other and don't want to hurt each other. And those of us that feel that way, we need to keep our voices strong and loud. We need to be vigilant, and we need to
Absolutely.
vote. Support
Yes,
each other and vote.
absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much for your support, for being here, for making the time to share this, really trying time and and loving yourself through it, loving so many others through it, keeping your gratitude going because gratitude is another piece. It's so it's so high vibrational that the
So
more
important.
people we can have expressing love and gratitude and living radiant lives and having, creating radiant relationships, we're going to heal the planet doing this. And it may take a long time, but I think that in some respects this is happening because of the old school and because of who our leader is and because he put this person out there to be vetted or approved. And thank God that that Dr. Ford came forward, because
Yeah.
this is the beginning of part of the change that
Yep. You
women
got to
are saying no
purge.
more.
You got to purge the old in order to bring in the new.
We got
So
to purge the old to
it's
bring in the
painful.
new.
It's painful but
Yeah,
necessary, I think.
yeah, I think you're absolutely right. So I'm loving myself by connecting with you, sharing the outrage, cleaning the yard, doing the things that I did when I was experiencing the PTSD of the two towers and the actual trauma of it actual happening,
Yeah.
and of 9/11, and really connecting with my mom and remembering my dad and how he stood for me.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad. The thing I wanted to close with is I went to see an amazing woman recently who did some healing work with me. And she
Oh.
said that when I left, she wanted me to change my priorities and that she wanted me to set my first, second, and third priority and that it should be me, me, and me. And I think that through all of this pain and all of this revisiting trauma and this collective rage and sadness, one of the most important things we can do in loving ourselves is to care for ourselves, get the sleep, eat the healthy food, meditate, sing a song, listen to music you like, connect with a friend, take care of yourself
Dance.
so that you have the power to go out into the world and make this shit change.
Absolutely. Oh my God, that's so, so powerful. And I jumped in there to say dance, but oh my God, you're exactly what you said. Exactly what you said. We need to love priorities. Me, 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 you,
Mhm.
you.
Yeah.
Rest, water, food, good food,
And love.
connection. Yeah,
connect,
love, sex, dance,
connect with the
breathe,
people
sing,
who love you.
make music,
Yeah.
paint, whatever it is that brings you joy. That I created bracelet after bracelet after bracelet on 9/11. I couldn't
Yeah.
stop creating because the unmaker had had such a huge day. And
Yeah.
I'm feeling exactly the same, though it's so much different. It's more that it's bringing out the pain of all the people that have been abused and assaulted and raped. And so thank you for saying love yourself.
Yeah, and find an outlet, find a creative outlet, find an outlet that helps you in whatever way you can to feel alive and feel vibrant and to help others. That's another great way to heal all of this is reach
It
out,
is.
be a safe
Yeah,
space, be a loving space, be a non-judgmental space for whatever comes up for people around you. That's what's needed, I think.
fabulous. Without a doubt. Thank you so much for being here, for
You're
your
welcome.
share. It's always such a great pleasure to connect with you and who you are in the world and what you're bringing. And
Thank
I'm just
you.
super, super grateful for you.
Thank you. I'm grateful for you as well, Gwen. I love you, and we'll talk soon.
Sounds fabulous. Thank you, Kyle. So
Mm.
it's day 271 of 365 days of asking the question, how do I love myself today? Ask yourself, how do I love myself today? Find one of the things that Kyle talked about, one of the things I talked about, something that really lights you up. Walk by the beach, get in the trees, get out into nature, read a book, do something that really feeds your soul and creates connection with other human beings as well as nourishing yourself. Sometimes it's alone time we need, and sometimes it's connection. All right. So in the meantime, great having everyone here. Thank you so much for listening to what we had to share. And now go love yourself.